Welcome to this lecture about how to create plurals in English. This will be in both Swedish and English. Countable nouns can be in both singular and plural, and s is the most common plural. And then obviously you add create plural by adding s, as in dogs, houses, and dollars. Words that end with s, z, x, ch, and ch create plural by adding es, as in buses, quizzes, boxes, and so on. Words that end with y create plural by changing to ies, as in factory, factories, ladies, and ladies. However, if you have vowel and plus y, you add only s, as in days, boys, and guys. A few words about spelling. Some words exchange f and fe into ves in the plural, such as calf, calves, half, halves, leaf, leaves, shelf, shelves, thief, thieves, knife, knives, life, lives, wife, wives. Most words, however, keep the f, as in chiefs, safes, roofs, and scarves. There are some words that are end with o that you add es in the plural, such as potatoes, tomatoes, heroes, echoes, goes, vetoes, negroes, but most words that end with o have the common s plural, as in pianos, radios, and videos. You have a couple of irregular plurals, and these you just have to learn by heart, as in man, men, woman, women. Notice the pronunciation change. Child, children, mouse, mice, louse, lice, foot, feet, goose, geese, tooth, teeth. We also have a few nouns that have zero plural, meaning it doesn't change in the plural. Deer and sheep. You have fish, salmon, reindeer, and trout usually have the same singular and plural form. Fishes, however, is used when you talk about different species or individuals. For example, 3 small fish, but how many fish did you catch? Zero plural, when you have a noun after a numeral, it stays the same. 1 dozen, 5 dozen, 100, 200, 1,000, 5,000, 1 million, 5 million. Note that you don't add the s even if it's more than 1. Words that also have zero plural are aircraft, spacecraft, dice, horsepower, quid, crossroads, headquarters, means, series, species. Also, nationalities that end with "-ese" and Swiss don't change in the plural, as a Chinese, many Chinese, Swiss, 2 Swiss, 1 Lebanese, 2 Lebanese, and Japanese. And then we have compound plurals, in Swedish sammansatt plural. In compounds that are created with numerals and nouns, the noun should be in singular, such as a 2-car family, a few $5 bills, a 2-engine plane, 2 13-page articles. Numerals and nouns are the same, a 4-day trip, 10-man tent, many 10-pound notes. Notice that you don't do anything with the numeral, you have plural on the noun. More compound plurals. The plurals usually added to the last element. You have 1 babysitter, but 2 babysitters. Note that you don't say 2 babies sitters, because then you have 2 babies. With most compounds that have 3 elements, the first is in plural. 1 mother to be, or 2 mothers to be. With woman or man, meaning female or male, both elements are in plural. You have 1 woman officer, but 2 women officers, men students, and women writers. For in plural, meaning loan words, they often keep their rules from their own language, meaning that phenomenon, which is a Latin word, in plural is phenomena. Same with criterion, is in plural criteria. Words that end with is get the suffix es in plural. An analysis, many analyses. A crisis, many crises. A diagnosis, many diagnoses. We have some words that could be difficult to know if they're singular or plural, and those are known as uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are nouns that are not used in plurals. They usually represent an uncertain amount of different subjects, different phenomena, and abstract ideas. Example of this is what terrible traffic. Many words are uncountable both in English and Swedish, as window cleaning is hard work, for example. And in Swedish, indefinite article is used not in English. What bad luck. But then in Swedish we have en sådan otur. A few words that are plural in Swedish but singular in English. And these words in English are considered as a unit, while in Swedish they are regular nouns. You have advice, business, cash, evidence, homework, information, knowledge, money, news, progress, and pollution. And the interesting with this is, of course, that you have to conjugate the verb in the singular form. You also need to learn how to recognize these nouns. Remember then, when you use one of these words, remember that the verb should always be in singular form. For example, where is my money? The attribute, meaning the bestämningsord, is always in singular. This money is yours. Use some if you want to give an example. I need some advice. And use it and not them when you refer to the word. Where is his money? It's there. When you talk about places, some expressions that regard more than one person has plural in English but singular in Swedish. We changed places. They shook hands. I have to change trains. Note that the noun is in plural in English but in singular in Swedish. Then we have uncountable plurals, and when you want to stress the singular you need to rephrase with a piece of or a word. A piece of furniture, a piece of news, or a word or piece of advice. Some nouns mean one thing as uncountables and another thing as countables. And examples are work, meaning a work. Work or a work. Sugar, a sugar, as you see the Swedish explanation. Business or a business. Coffee, meaning an amount, or a coffee, meaning a cup of coffee. Paper, a paper. Space, a space. Sport, a sport. So it's important that you think of which one do you mean when you write these words. Then we have some words that are always plural in English but singular in Swedish. And when you use these words, you have to remember that the verb is in plural. Where are the police? The attribute is in plural, meaning those, these, and many. Those are my pajamas. And when you refer to the word, you have to use they. Where are the scissors? They are there. Then we have words in plural that are in plural but they don't have the plural as, such as people, police, and cattle. Even if you have no s on the noun, it's in plural. People, however, can mean both races and nations, and then you have to have the s plural. An example of this is A History of the English-Speaking Peoples is a famous book. When you talk about a single group, then when you talk about the police, you treat it as a singular. Example is the Metropolitan Police is linked with Interpol. Then you talk about the specific group of police. Then we have some words that have different meaning in the singular and plural. And you have content in the singular and contents in the plural. Damage, damages. Look, looks. Firework, fireworks. Manner, manners. Moral, morals. And spirit, spirits. And you also need to learn the difference of these. Words that end with ix, such as aerobics, gymnastics, economics, politics, and statistics, is considered as singular when you talk about the subject, but plural when you talk about how you use it. For example, mathematics is her favorite subject, but his mathematics are weak. Statistics is important in modern society, but these statistics show that an increase in serious crimes. In some cases, words in plural are considered as a unit, and they should then be treated as a singular. Some names: the United States, United Nations, and the Netherlands. The UN is an organization of independent states. And where's that 40 pound I lent you? And fish and chips has gone up. Measurements, when you think about the amount and not the single object, as in 4 hours is a long time to wait. We have collective nouns. They mark a group. They're different from other nouns since their singular forms also can be followed by a verb in plural. When you talk about family as a unit, you talk about it in singular, but when you talk about the family members, you use plural. In American English, however, you often have the verb in singular, even if you talk about the family members. For example, the family was French, and then you can have both the family was having dinner or were having dinner. The jury was absent for 3 hours, or the jury were absent for 3 hours. Same thing with audience and public. Now, take a few moments to translate these sentences. You could put the film on pause if you need more time. And here are the answers. The man, the woman, and the child. Men, women, and children. A bad tooth. Bad teeth. Dirty feet. Oxen, calves, and sheep. 2 loaves on the shelf. A thief with a knife. 2 thieves with knives. And 2 Englishmen and 3 Germans. And that ends this lecture about the plurals.